do you say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can't fake it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging day? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can't fake it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. Hey, now cannonball, 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 cannonball.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault 3.5 League Season Number 1, Round 1 here at the Nurburgring. My name is King-Kodiak. I do have a very croaky voice. I will cough and splutter. I wholeheartedly apologise at the start. But joining me in the commentary box, always happy to say, is the Lord God himself. It is Stevie SQ.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure. Yes, it is round 1 of 6. This is the alternating league replacement for the Formula Renault 2.0, and this is the big brother from the 2.0. This is the Formula Renault 3.5. Big stonking great big V8 in the back. What could you possibly want?
Beautiful roar in this mighty fine beast. They do have DRS, although it is very limited to 8 uses per race. So they can't just open it wherever they feel like it, and it is very much like a bomb going off when they do actually open it. It's very, very powerful, but they do have to choose their times, to choose their timing well. We have 24 cars joining us for this opening round of the Formula Renault 3.5. We had the Formula 3 League last week. And what a race that was in Canada. All pair of races as a feature race and a sprint race in that series. It's just the one hour race here in the Formula Renault 3.5s. And a few names that are competing in both leagues. Valtteri Ailander we are looking at the moment. Christoph Holsting is a regular to the iRacing side of things. He's running in the CSR coloured car. Erka Lindström, another one that also is part of the GT leagues, I believe. Kerry Nolden as another regular in these parts. Phil Reed, Nicholas Domino, whose car is completely white. Oh no, I was just about to say, I'm sure his car had a skin on it earlier. So Nick Domino, he's the one responsible for our amazing graphics work. As you can see, we are in qualifying at the moment, 6 minutes 40 to go. So everybody is on track, although it's much like the Formula Renault. I keep doing that. Formula 3 league last week. They can't blame anyone else for holding them up, as you can see quite clearly. They only really see themselves as Valtteri Orlando is the first person to get a pole time of 1:38.415. My God, that's very, 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 very quick. That's quicker than anything we've seen in any of the practice sessions. And René Osterkamp slots into second. Timu, I'm going to struggle with this one.
Varkiavi.
Thank you. Varkiavi in third then, the 1:38.867. Charlie Summers in fourth with 39. Oh no, he's just been replaced by Stefan Herman in fourth, 1:39.091 in car 179. Then Charlie Summers, Christoph Holstein 6th, Tim DeLarsel, Phil Reed 8th, and Nick Domino in 9th. The rest yet to set a time on the board. What can we expect from these mighty roaring monsters?
I was told that a 38 is very fast, and we are well into that now with Orlando on a 38.4. It was in practice, so what we saw, the early signs from practice was that the reigning Formula Renault champ, René Osterkamp, was in a class of his own, and he was for most of that practice session, saying a good half second clear, but he was whittled down a little again. So yeah, I'm hoping we're going to have a very close field. And lots of good racing. This car, from what I've been told, is very tricky here this week. The curbs are not fun, particularly at the Schumacher S, which is a very high speed corners. I've been told if you touch them, you will crash.
Nice.
Yes, it's not easy here. It's quite hot as well. Track and air temp both at 27 degrees in the middle of November. So the tyres are having a bit of a workout on this pretty demanding track.
Yep, René Osterkamp's just ended up facing the wrong way after clipping the apex at turn 1. Very well-timed display of that's what the curbs will do.
Yes, it's a bit of a tricky one, is what I've been told. Just for reference, the last time the 2.0s raced here was just last season, in the final season, in season 11. It was round 1. And the pole was set by Valtteri Orlando, who is currently always at the top again. And he was set that with a 1:51.818. These cars are considerably faster.
13 seconds.
And there's only 16 corners, so that's a view of the step.
Wow, that's a big old chunk of power that these things have. Now, I've driven these in other simulators, primarily Project Cars 2. Now, I'm no expert driver by any stretch, but these things are a hell of a handful. They are devilishly fast. But if you put the power down at the wrong moment, you don't have traction control in these things. I mean, the top drivers tend not to run things at traction control anyway. But if you put the power down at the wrong point, the tail goes, don't be silly, and bites you. And then, and then you end up facing the wall. So, yeah, these things are real difficult cars to master. So exactly as we saw, René Osterkamp, previous champion, facing the wrong way at turn 1. Again, the curbs, we saw last week in Canada just how vicious the curbs can bite you. Once again, the curbs not being friendly to our drivers today.
No, it depends a lot on the circuit. Some tracks, will have curbs that you can use quite a lot, and some others won't. And here, from what I'm told, that it's something to do with the suspension. In that, if you get on power while on a curb, that is it. You are off. Which is something they're having to get used to, because you want to use the curb, you want to lean on it, but you also want to be going out of the corner with as much power as possible. So it's taking some getting used to. They've had, like I say, they've had 11 seasons in the Formula Renault, which is just under 3 years.
Long time.
In the 2.0. So they've had a long time, and to the point where it's super predictable, they know how it's going to drive, and now they've got completely new system, and I'm looking forward to it.
And these cars have only been out a couple of weeks. That was something we really did hammer home last week with the Formula 3s. I'm going to keep on doing that.
Same.
These cars are not 100% familiar. Exactly as Stevie just said, with the Formula Renault 2.0, They've been out for forever. Oh, and there goes Charlie Summers facing the wrong way at the Vidal chicane. That's I would expect to see a lot of that with how unpredictable these cars are.
Oh yeah, like I said, they've only been out for a couple of weeks, so this is definitely a new challenge for them.
And of course, when we raced last week at Canada, it had only been a week, if that, when the cars were released. So it was definitely a case, and we saw some real great names. I mean, Phil Reed, saw him bounce off of the final chicane backwards into the Wall of Champions. And he's raced a lot of things, or probably everything that iRacing can hold. So it just goes to show that even the greats can really be tripped up by these cars. And Formula Renault 3.5s are not easy cars to drive at all, and are ready to bite you at any given moment. Valtteri Alander still very comfortably, well, as comfortably as any gap. It's 2 and a bit tenths to his favour with that 38.415, which he did a while ago now. Less than, or just over 30 seconds remain for our drivers. There's not many of them on track at the moment. Alander is one of them. Charlie Summers is out there currently in 7th with a 39.2. Knut Martinsen is, well, he was on track, but now decided to put it back. Saradov, car 177. Oops, runs very wide. Now the incident limit 17 on these. Yep.
17 incidents, and if you hit that, you are out. You are disqualified. And Sarah's taking a very interesting line. That's not the game we're using. You get quite the slowdown. I think she's trying to get back to do a pit lane practice. Very important.
And that's the end of it. So, and just as that came to rest. And that is how our grid stands. Valtteri Alander is going to be our pole man this time. Osterkamp 2. How do we say that one again?
Timu Valkiavi.
Valkiavi in 3rd. I will say that differently every time I read it. I wholeheartedly apologise. Herman 4, Gaydemir 5, Holstein in 6th, Summers 7, Dimov 8, Phil Reed 9, Tim DeLisle 10, Olsen 11, Kimi Larsen 12, Martinsen 13, Dove 14, Lindstrom 15, Potter 16, Imre 17. That's one I don't recognise. Coppolinari. We'll go with that in 18th.
Yep.
Krutz 19, and Morris is going to round out our top 20.
Interesting that. Am I seeing that right? That Kerry Nolden is starting 24th. He did not manage to set a time. You only get 3 laps in qualifying, and he messed up his first 2. He managed to invalidate them. And then his 3rd lap was a 52.2, so he still wouldn't have been on pole in the Formula Renault race.
No, and
so he's got it all to do for Team AOR, starting right at the back.
It's a 1 hour straight race. So I mean, they will come into the pits. There's no way that the tyres alone would last that long, I would have thought.
The tyres probably will, but they also have a mandatory pit stop to do.
Well, there went that idea.
They have to replace all the tyres. But what I've been told, it's probably only going to be a 6-7 second stop.
Awesome. So we're just waiting for everybody to grid up then. There's just 2. It's Phil Reed and Evan Imre that haven't gridded up, making any last minute changes they wish to make. And then, as you can see there, we will be doing the rolling start behind the pace car. That looks like it's down by the...
Which, I'll be honest, is interesting, because I was under the impression it's supposed to be a standing start. But I guess we are using the sessions are set up through the iRacing beta, which is a little unpredictable, let's say. So they were probably expecting a standing start.
Oh well, that's...
and I suspect we will be back to a standing start next week. 2 weeks.
We are running anyway. So whatever they're wanting, and I can't help it. I love the sound of these Formula Renaults when they're absolutely screaming their heads off. They are absolutely wonderful. So, under the pace car, then they are coming up to the Vidal chicane. They are winding their way through. So, looking from the gearbox of our poleman Valtteri Alander, car number 10. As they come up to the final turn, the pace car will be has gotten out of the way. So up to Mr. Alander as to when he floors it to signify the beginning of the race. There we go. We are racing here at the Nurburgring. Of course, a decent start. It said 24 hours on the race clock there. I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting. Here we go then, into the first turn for the first time in anger. That's getting very, very close between Osterkamp and Atlanta. There is a Vikiavi that is still there in third position. There he is in the second Glacier Racing car. Herman Ford. There's Charlie Summers in fifth position now, being followed by the two CSR guys. That's Holstein and Gaidemeyer. Now then, Phil Reed, Dimov and Tim Delar round out our top 10. Looks like everybody's made it through. Have you anyone had any incidents that you know of?
Yeah, the only one I saw was Sarah Dove. She had a spin at turn 1. She's all right though. She's carrying on going.
Yeah,
I couldn't quite see if she got hit or she just dropped it on her own.
More than likely, that's a solo effort. And again, no disrespect to Sarah Dove whatsoever. She's a regular in the I-Series leagues, but these things are so easy to drop. Oh, Kerry Nolden up to 20th already, so he's not hanging around, trying to make his way from the, from the tail of the field. I apologise for coughing. It's going to catch me by surprise. I'm still trying to get over a bit of a chest infection, so I will do my best not to bark down. What's happened to Kimi Larson? Wow, that's side by side coming out of the Bilstein curve, turns 11 and 12. That's a very brave. You're going to go side by side through there, but it does look like everybody has managed to survive the first lap. The top two are making a bit of a break for it, it seems. But no such luck then for Vikiavi, as he's got a big old train behind him.
Absolutely, it's this is where we're going to see how well they get on. It's one thing to do practice, but racing them's another story. You've got to be on it now. This is where it counts.
Yeah, that was something we touched on last week. It's all well and good just pounding the laps on your own against the clock, but when you're under pressure, when you've got everybody around you, it's so easy to make a mistake. What's happened to
Kevin Larson's just run a little wide. He's side by side with Lindstrom through turn 2. Kimi Larson's on the inside. Is he going to get this into turn 3? Work on the outside. Here comes the inside though through turn 4.
Well driven.
That was very well driven.
Summers. That was Charlie Summers. He's
just spin around.
Did he just have a moment there? I think I was under lag because I can't see that. So never mind. So he had a bit of a moment there, did Charlie Summers. But Atlanta, look at that. He's under a lot of pressure by Osterkamp. He's not been able to break away to any real degree, although the pair of them, Atlanta and Osterkamp, are 1.5 seconds ahead of Vikiavi. But it looks like that Atlanta has got a lot of fighting to do, and part of you as a driver wants to just run off into the distance, particularly when it's a new car, when you haven't got fully up to speed with it, you haven't got all the kind of muscle memory, all that kind of experience under your belt that these guys do with the likes of.
Have a move head between Gaidemeyer and Phil Reed here. Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
Phil
not
Reed,
at all.
Very close, and he's just passed him. That might have been a DRS use, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, we can't. He nearly dropped it, but he's managed to save it, although he's just blinked away.
Yeah, he's lagging for me as well. So
he's having some issues, it looks like. But he's got the position as he's coming back.
Oh, that would have been a real kind of clenching moment for Phil Reed there, because when these things.
The lead! They're so close. Sorry.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. Yeah, good spot. Osterkamp and Atlanta is really, really close, and they've broken away a huge distance between themselves and Vikiavi, because Vikiavi is having to defend like mad. But yeah, as soon as these cars let go, they tend to just, that's it, you've had it. Yeah, they are really hard to regain control of, because the power is so vicious in these things. So when they do let go, that's it. Go on.
Phil Reed, exactly same place as Charlie Summers. He just had a hell of a wobble coming out of turn 4. But he held it, he's still ahead. And it's so frustrating for Gaidemeyer, who's just been passed by Phil Reed. He's like, okay, well go on then, if you're that much quicker. And being overtaken, Phil's had at least two moments.
Absolutely. Now, something we should say, the DRS, whilst it is very, very effective in these cars, they can only use it 8 times throughout the entire race. That's a 1-hour race. They can only use it that many times. So they've got to be very careful, very selective when they choose to deploy it. So you'll know, as exactly as Stevie was spotting with Phil Reed earlier. Oh, and again the tail just went to have a big twitch coming out of turn 11. Then and again you can just see the tail just dancing around in that car, and it just keeps you alert. Phil Reed's knuckles are probably absolutely white by now, because he's just wrestling that car through these turns. Herman's on the back of Holstein as well, so Holstein now up to 4th. Incumbent number 9 on the back of Vikiavi in 3rd. That battle well and truly alive. The lead battle, whilst getting further away from everybody ahead of them, is not exactly far apart either. It's now 8/10 between Osterkamp and Landa. But yeah, Phil Reed. Charlie Summers. No.
To cross the final chicane. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Daniel Morris. It seems to be going now. Is that him? No. I'll try and find out who that was. But they cut across the final chicane and have lost a chunk of position.
What are we on incidents at the moment? It's company we've already got 4 incidents. Actually, Vaikiavi's one of them. Oh dear. And Stefan Herman. We've got 4 incidents on the board, but everyone else seems to be fairly well behaved. No massive amount of incidents building up just yet, but now Alanda seems to be getting into his rhythm. He's built up about a second between himself and Osterkamp. There or thereabouts. And look at this train behind Vaikiavi. That is third down to 9th. That's so Vaikiavi, Holstein, Herman, Reed, Gaidemeyer, Dimov, and Delisle, all in that big old train. If we go to the blimp, you'll see the lot. There they are. Look at that. That is so incredibly close between all of them. Well, you can see the lead battle, underneath, so it's not too far ahead. Although that gap is just increasing lap on lap on lap. But Vaikiavi just looking behind him and trying to keep those behind exactly there. So it's Phil Reed. He's gone too wide. Yep, that's a position lost. That's Gaidemeyer coming up into 6th position. So, and again, we know how good the likes of Phil Reed are, and it just goes to show one momentary lapse of concentration, and these cars are ready to kill you.
Absolutely, you have to be so careful on throttle, on brakes, on steering. They are much more sensitive because they are so much more powerful. Just on everything, they have more power. They're light. They're not lighter, but their power to rating ratio is pretty good as well. They are just so much more. They require so much more concentration. And it's going to take these drivers a lot more time to get used to.
We've got people in the pits already. Imre and Potter have come in. Potter, I think, has been there a while. So he's had a problem somewhere on the lap. Imre is in. So, whilst mandatory pit stop, maybe choosing to get it out of the way now, but it's risky if he's doing that. I suspect Evan Imre's had a problem of of some description. But as we're riding on board with Phil Reed just now, we go back on board with him, you'll see where the driver's position is. Whoa, and there you go. You just saw how much opposite lock Phil had to put into that car. And he barely glanced the apex. But there, when he's on that 90-degree lock, his hand is right in front of his face. So it is one of these things that you've got to bear in mind. If you're using that view, you've got to bear in mind that your fist is going to be right in front of you. And looking back, that's Dimov that's under pressure from Tim Delisle. As 17 is having to rethink that strategy against car 46. That continues, but wow. Oh, what's happened to Vaikiavi? Oh dear, he's gone very wide. What's happened to you? He may have just made a mistake. Let's see if we can catch up with what happened to him. Oh no, my control not working properly. Where is that? No, that's more live. So I think Vaikiavi just made a mistake. He's lost a couple of positions, now down to 5th. So Will Christoph Holstein now up to 3rd. Seems to be much more at ease with these cars than he was in the 3.0s last week. He struggled a bit more that time around, but now really getting into his groove. But he's got 6.8 to close down to Osterkamp, who is still within a second of Alanda.
Just to point out as well, both Herman and Vaikiavi now have made a mistake from in front of Holstein. Holstein has not done anything wrong, that's why he's 3rd. He hasn't made a mistake that's thrown him off the road or caused him to lose a lot of time. It's insane how sensitive these cars are. I would definitely assume Darren Potter is out because he's still in the pit.
Yeah.
In regard to Imre, they only have to make a mandatory stop. They have to change tyres, but fuel, they're good to go. So that could be his mandatory stop done. He's now got clear air, he can just set his pace.
Interesting. Darren Potter's been in there over 3 minutes now, so unless he's literally changing the suspension as well, then I think that's the end of his days. Which, if I remember rightly, Darren Potter is the one that's trumping your colours from the GTE League. Oh, Phil Reed under a lot of pressure from Gain and Dimov as they were coming up to the final chicane, and there you've got Delisle in very short order as well. That pack really heavily condensed. Jumping further up, Herman hanging on to the back of Christoph Holstein. Battle for the last podium position.
Dimov might have a go at Phil here. Phil's gone defensive into turn 1. Is Dimov going to go all the way around the outside? It's going to be difficult. No, Phil's held that one off. Oh, Dimov's now under pressure from Tim Delisle.
Yeah, indeed. He was at the right place at the right time to try and capitalise on that. The racing room given from car 46 to Tim Delisle. Oh, God, that was Charlie Summers barrelling in there to try and do something about it. If we get on the roll bar, actually, of 350, he'll be able to... he's got a great ringside seat for the battle ahead of him. So this is Charlie Summers. He's just hoping that Delisle and Dimov come to... Oh, bit of a lock-up then from Dimov coming through turn 7, the Ford curve. Now on the way down to the Dunlop curve, turn number 8. Again, just one mistake and you're off into the sand. It's again, so easy to do in these cars. Cannot understate enough how difficult these things are to wrestle. But in fairness to our drivers, as 10 minutes gone, we're on lap 7 and they're still... with the exception of third to second, they're really not that far apart.
No, Rene's very close to Orlando. Orlando's going defensive. This is for the lead. He's not going to do it though. He's backed out of it.
Yeah, he's a wise old racer. Well, they both are, in fairness.
Orlando with the oversteer coming out with the chicane. That's not going to help him at all. This might set Rene up a treat going into turn 1. That could have been a DRS use.
Could have been.
If he didn't make it stick, that's 1 down. And you can use DRS to defend as well. It's not. There's no prerequisite. You use it completely on your own if you like.
Yeah, exactly that. There's none of the 1 second of the car ahead as Darren Potter. Oh no, I thought his pit timer had stopped, but no, he's still there. This is a bit of a shame. But yeah,
he's very close to Holstein as well through the arena section now for 3rd place.
Indeed, Stefan Herman, car number 179 on the back of Holstein. He's been there since they cleared Vikiavi. I've been doing all right until then. Yeah, I'll be now getting it wrong every time I say it. And we've got a few more people in the pit. No, that's just a bit of lag.
We do have the 2 drivers on recovery mode at the minute are now right together. We've got Charlie Summers in 13th, Kerry Nolden in 14th. Obviously, Kerry's, if you look at positions gained, Kerry looks far better. He's up 10, but he also started at back.
He started, yeah, but I mean, yeah, he's on a fair charge, to be fair.
Yeah.
And his best lap is not too bad, 40.7. The leaders are the only 2 under 140 are Valtteri Alander and René Osterkamp. So, yeah, it's one of these things that he's on pretty decent pace.
Evan is out because he's in the chat.
I saw that. Something has happened to Mr. Imre. And Phil Reed's made a mistake. He's possibly made a mistake. Oh, what's happened to Holstein? Oh, he's been passed. Oh, what a move. Oh, I'm going to have to definitely have a look at that one between himself and Herman. And nope, they decided just to let's try that. Try hitting the right button. There we go. So, and there it was. It was probably maybe a bit of DRS. Oh, as Holstein really, as he turned in, very nearly caught the back of Herman's car. But a lovely bit of slipstream, probably a bit of DRS in there as well. And nice and through. It's fairly simple, very simple effect then. But there is Vikiavi and Gadamer right on Holstein's case now. So it's an opportunity for Herman to try and break away to get on with the job and get away from that charging car number 9.
Yeah, with Evan says he's had contact 3 laps ago, which damaged his side pod, which was unrepairable, which is why we saw him come in. And he's 3 seconds a lap slower with the damage. So,
ouch. And
then he's crashed. So, not great. We've also got Charlie Summers in the pits, but I think that was planned. I saw him come in. He's on his way back out now. So that's one that was recovering. So this might work for him if he thinks he can go a lot faster and clearer compared to those around him.
Oh, on board with Gadamer. He's gaining with Vikiavi. This could be a move coming into. There he goes on the inside, coming towards 10-11, but no. I wonder if Vikiavi may have hit, may have got the DRS open. Don't be fooled by the tiny slot looking at us. It's not quite right from a spectator standpoint. Otherwise, the DRS is open all the time. Here he comes again. Gadamer's had a good drive on the exit. 10. Oh, well defended there by Vikiavi. Oh, and again. I better get off that camera. It's too close.
It was very close.
There's Phil Reed. Oh, a terrible run then through the VDOT chicane for Gaidemer. And Phil Reed's now right on his case. And that's how quickly the pendulum can change. You're so concentrating on trying to attack the car ahead that you make a mistake then into the next series of corners. And now you're on. And there goes car 44, Phil Reed. He's going to have the inside for turn 1. Surely that is going to be straightforward. I'm not sure. I don't think Gaidemer is going to fight that one too much. Knows when the move is done. That's Phil Reed up to 6th.
Nicely moved, nicely done. It's something to point out to those unfamiliar with iRacing. You don't get a choice in camera on iRacing, not like Project Cars or Forza or any of these, or F1 for example. You have the cockpit cam, and that's it. You can mess around with the FOV, but you are locked in. Regardless of what else, regardless of what your personal preference is, you have to use cockpit camera. And for the likes of, like you were saying earlier, of just seeing your hand when you turn, that is a thing. That is a risk you can take if you have your FOV in a way that can make that an issue. You can absolutely harm yourself with that if it makes you fast, though. There's a lot to be gained. Something else of note.
Sorry, Gaidemer and Reed again. Oh, side by side once again. And Reed hanging on to that one. Gaidemer did manage to nose ahead, but here we go again. Oh, there went the DRS board, I think, on the side of Dimov. Now the two cars side by side. 44 having the inside line, 37 the outside. And there again, Phil Reed either had a better drive or used another one of his DRS scores. We don't know from a spectator standpoint when it's active and when it isn't. So we've got no way of knowing when it's been used or how often it's been used, etc. But look at Gaiden Dimov. He's now right with it's right on the tail of Gaidemer. Gaidemer having a look on Phil Reed. Phil Reed going very defensive, but Gaidemer on the inside of the inside line. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? My goodness, that was close. Phil Reed went for the racing line. Gaidemer just had enough room. He's going to try the inside of two. Bit of an impact between the two.
It looked like. Phil was having a wobble as he rejoined the track and he's managed to keep control. He's just loved that position. He really well defended that into turn 1. He cut it very tight, but he just managed to swing on the outside. It looks like Galen's going to have a go on Phil as well. It made Phil go wide, but Phil has managed to hold that off for now.
Nicely done as Dimov then. He did look like he was going to have a look on the inside coming into turn 6, but opted not to take the move. But Phil Reed...
leaders are close, by the way.
Yeah, they've been close all race long. I keep switching to them thinking, oh, there's a move, but no, once again, Valtteri Lander has just played the defensive game all race long. Oh, wrong car. The jump on board of the Lander there. Oh, is this Osterkamp? Oh, the Osterkamp was taking a different line there, but I think he was just a little bit tighter coming through that very fast turn 13. Neither of these two looking to come in. They now lead Stefan Hermann. So Holstein, we saw, lost that position to Stefan Hermann a while ago. Christoph Holstein hanging on to the back of Hermann, but that's now 12 seconds between third and in this battle we're looking at. So they continue to stretch their legs up front. René Osterkamp is the man with the fastest lap. Still only the top two under 1 minute 40. So even at this stage, bear in mind we're not even halfway through the race and they're starting to creep towards qualifying pace. That just really shows you how much of a different league these two are. Absolutely, they are really giving it everything. They are in a class of their own at the minute, it seems. But you can get this with, we've seen this in real life. A regulation change or a new chassis, or the whole system gets reset, and we've seen that here. Similar for the last few seasons of Formula Renault have not dominated, but they've. Charlie Summers has nearly crashed and spun into the pit lane coming out of the chicane. But Simon C have had this amazing ability to just get so much more extra pace out of a car that everybody has known so well. But now they've not got that because they've got Glacier up there as well with them. You look how hard Valtteri Lander is ahead and how hard he is pushing René Osterkamp by being ahead. But you've also got Stefan Hermann under a bit of pressure from Holstein and Valkyrie. Absolutely, yeah. Valkyrie's fallen off a little bit, the battle here between Hermann and Holstein. But again, when... Oh, no, Hermann, what happened to you? We were looking at Holstein just at the point that happened. I think he just I think he touched the grass and just round he went. So let's get on to that one. So this is coming through turns 11 and 12. It's going to be around here. Yeah. Too much curb. Bang. Oh, that's going to hurt.
It was like I was told. Oh, he's had a crash as well.
Oh,
oh God, what's happened there?
Oh, it was...
He's very damaged now. That car is out.
Ouch. We literally just got to the end of one replay with Herman. Let's have a look at what's happened again. So here he comes. He's coming into the Vidal chicane. What on earth happened? He was right by the pit lane. And, oh, he got nudged.
By Gregory Olsen.
Oh, no. And then, oh, yeah, that's not a happy car.
I think, honestly, I think Stefan Herman was going to pit. So he took a tighter line out, and then Olsen probably wasn't expecting. Yes. What's
happened to Dimov? I suddenly found him in a very odd place. He was side by side. I think that's Phil Reed. At the point that battle was going on, they're coming out of the Mercedes arena. Oh, impact between Reed and Dimov. Phil was, I think, trying to take the racing line when Dimov was still in it. Oh dear. There's going to be a few words said on this race after the day is done.
A couple of other drivers that we seemingly had trouble. Alexander Waldo is currently out in the pit lane, I think, on a 4-minute pit stop. Nicholas Domino is also out. Stefan Hermans is getting his car fixed, but he's been there for a while.
Oh dear, a shame. But still, this battle up front has not... I think about 1.1 seconds is as big a gap as these two have had against one another all race long. Now Holstein is free of pressure, although, Vaikarv is not far behind, but he's not in a challenging position. It's going to be interesting to see if Holstein can get on the pace of these two, now that he's not having to attack or defend from anybody. Gaidemer right on the case of Vaikarvi. This is a battle for fifth. There he goes on the inside. Is Vaikarvi going to challenge that one? No, it looks like he's still well out of the way of that. He's not even going to attempt an outside move. That's an easy pass then for Dominic Gaidemer. So the two CSR cars now third and fourth. Great effort for them. Phil Reed, let's have a look at him after that tangle he had with Gaily Dimov, who's now in the pits. Whether it was a result of the impact or whether that was planned. Oh, as Phil caught a little bit of grass there. There is Tim Delisle catching up to him. That's the roll bar view from car 17. Now it'll be interesting to see if Phil is struggling for pace. There may well be damage on that car, but unlike the Formula 3.0 race that we had in Canada, where Phil actually won the sprint race, he hasn't got another race to fall back on. Go on.
I think Rene Osterkamp has made a mistake.
Oh dear.
He has dropped a significant amount back from Alanda. He's probably lost about 7 tenths from where he was at the start of the lap. He's down to about 1.3, 1.4 now.
It must have happened a little while ago then, because just did a quick instant replay on him, and he already was at that point. So, oh dear, Rene Osterkamp. Unless, of course, Valtteri Orlando just used his DRS at that particular moment.
I don't know, because they weren't in the final sector and that would be the optimum time to use it. I think he would be smart. Who am I? What do I know? I feel like they would be smarter to save that for the run to turn 1 or the run to the Vidal chicane. But interesting. Rene was 7 tenths slower that lap compared to Valtteri. And just something on the Herman incident was that it was exactly what I was told from one of the drivers in practice of that. If you get on too much power on the curb, the car will go, oh my God! He's just had a hell of a moment through turn 7 and he's whipping to get the gravel off his tyres.
Oh no.
But he very nearly dropped it then. That could have been a disaster.
Let's have a quick look at that then. Yep, so that's coming through 11 and 12. Oh no, there's a bit of... Oh, there he goes! Oh yeah, he would have definitely had a bit of a clunching moment there. And well... He really did. He kept his head and, as you say, just had that little wiggle moment to try and clean the tyres up. But yeah, he's pushing hard to try and regain that gap down to Valtteri Orlando. But that's what happens when you overdrive the car. And these things, as we've already said, are very unforgiving. So, that will happen. Phil Reed's been in the pits. He's come back out in 13th position. So, Fairly standard pit stop, I think, from him. Yep, only stationary for 7.5 seconds, so doesn't look like any damage to report for him. And he's out. That's Daniel Morris is on the back off, so we'll see how that works out for him. What's going on with Osterkamp? Yeah, he's nearly. He was nearly 2 seconds down. He's now back up a bit more towards Alander. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that battle for the lead resume.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, although René is struggling to keep up at the minute now. Whether he was just being helped with the tow from Alander, I don't know. But he's got parts where he catches back up, but overall he looks like he's struggling to get back in range. Something else to point out how quick these two are. These two are the only drivers that have managed to do any lap times in the 39s. The next quickest is a 40.3 from Dominic Gaidemeyer, from what I can see. But René and Alander are already 15 seconds ahead of Holstein. And we've only been racing we're not racing for half the race yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And still the fastest lap sits with René Osterkamp with 39.7. And he's closed that gap down. It was nearly 2 seconds. Only a lap and a half ago. It's now down to 1.2. So I wouldn't think, the slipstream's not that effective and not that far behind. You will pick it up, I think, similar kind of, it's like 6/10 or so.
Yeah, I was told that when you're within half second you get, and I quote, big zoomies. From within 7/10 you get decent zoomies, and from within a second it's kind of
Unquote.
Yes, that is to quote Phil Reed. But yeah, I was a little annoyed that we didn't get the standing start. It's no one's fault. It's the way the system has clearly got confused. But I was told that the starts are not easy in this car, and I was looking forward to some chaos.
I'm sure the drivers are probably quite happy that they haven't had the chaos to deal with.
I'm sure.
Osterkamp, that's very wide on the exit of the Mercedes Arena, turn 4. Naughty. Speaking of incident count, let's have a quick recap. Oh, wow. Since we last looked, last time I looked at the incident count, which was quite earlier, Granny, Yolanda was on 0. He's now on 7. So that's gone up pretty dramatically. He's actually got, with the exception of Stefan Herman, he's got the most incident count of anybody. We still have a few drivers with 0. One of them is, once again, Knut Martinsen. He's fairly well known for keeping his incident count very, very low. Anybody else? Actually, he's the only driver on 0 incident counts. So, bravo, Knut. Well done.
Bonus points for him. You get bonus points if you complete the race with 0 incidents. And the other driver that's usually pretty good at that is Mr. Holstein. He's got one. So he's doing very well running there in 8th. He's a bit on his own, but he's running his pace. He's not getting tangled up in anybody else's accidents or getting involved in his own. So he's doing pretty well. In regard to the reaction in chat to the 15 seconds. At least there's 2 cars that are 15 seconds ahead, rather than just one.
Well, yeah, there is a fight at the front.
At least that's the bonus. Is at least 2 cars have gone, and they're not even on the same team.
That is a very laggy Daniel Morris there. As Soren Krutz is within 4/10 of him, so that's a battle for 13th position. I mean, now the lag is not the same driver side as it is for us, from what I understand. So it may well be blinking away for me. That doesn't guarantee that it's blinking away for the drivers on track. Oh, has Osterkamp made a mistake? No, that's just the overlay getting a bit confused. So he's hovering around, getting that gap back under a second. Neither of them showing any. Not many people have pitted at the moment. A lot of people looking to. I'm not really surprised. We've seen cars nose into the wall. We've seen how easily people nearly drop the car. So for people hanging on to their pit stop, so they don't have if they come in early and then throw it in the wall, they're going to have to come in again, of course. Another person that's close is a Gregory Olsen on the back of Erka Lindström. That's within a second, battle for 9th position. So car 98 and car 55 will look like
Gregory just had a big old lock up there. Into turn 6. It's from what I was told about these tyres is they are very similar to the GTE tyres, which is specifically on the Ferrari. When what I was told, is, and having driven that car, basically if you have a massive spin or a huge lockup, it's very hard to get the tyre back. You can if you plough through it and you just look after them for a while, but it's very difficult. Once you've had a mega incident, they overheat so much that it then becomes incredibly difficult to get them actually working again. So Gregory will be feeling that lockup if that is the case. Christoph Holstein is in the pit lane from 5th place. From 3rd place.
Third, indeed. So the CSR coloured car number 9 is bringing that one in. Oh, that's the remains of a yellow car.
That's the remains of Alexander Waldo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. So, yeah, he's been in there for 13.5 minutes. I think that's going to be the end of his... Okay, yeah, that car... Wow, that was a really short stop by Holstein there. It was 7.2 for car number 9. Where's Phil Reed? Oh, just come through the last corner, so not under immediate pressure there. So Phil Reed is going to have to make that pass on Holstein again if he wants to get that position up. Now the field now beginning to spread out. Butler and Krutz are close. That's a battle for 13th position. Neither have been through the pits as yet. So they are on pretty similar pace. Butler was half a second, 4/10 quicker than Krutz last time around. So that battle's got some legs on it yet.
Yes, it's good to see as well quite a few cars going still after their earlier incident. Charlie Summers, who threw himself out of like 5th or 6th place, is still running around. He's completed his pit stop. Sarah Dove, who was spun around at turn 1, either by her own or with help, we don't know. She's currently running in 15th place. A lot of drivers having a few issues, but they're all still going. And Kevin Olden's up to 6th from the back of the grid.
Osterkamp's in.
This is interesting. This is interesting. This will be interesting. Like from the Formula Renault days, this was kind of what you would do is you would go for the overcut because the tyres weren't really an issue, and you wanted that clear air was more important. So it's interesting to see Rene biting the bullet and going for it.
7 seconds he was stationary for. Delisle's in as well. He's opting to do it. So yeah, again a very quick stop from Osterkamp. Now Alander will no doubt be aware of the fact that he's not under immediate pressure. His immediate sparring partner has now vanished, so it's going to be interesting to see if Alander follows suit. So there's a little bit after the halfway stage that Osterkamp's decided to bring that one in. Delisle, where did he reappear? He's just coming out, 7.9, slightly longer. In the pits, Knut Martinsen is in. Holstein and Reed have just gone through, so that's 11th position for Tim Delisle. Holstein and Kimi Larson are getting a bit close now. Holstein, of course, having been through the pits. Larson not. Where is our race leader? He hasn't come up to the pit lane
going
yet.
Up towards the Vidal chicane. If he's going to... There was about a second gap when Rene pitted. So he's not got a lot of time if he's going for it, but he's staying out.
He's staying out. Yeah, he's not willing to take the dive yet. So that puts Gaidemer up into second now. 20 seconds rather, between first and second. Vaikjavi in third, minding his own business. Osterkamp now very much on his own, but without anyone to chase or disrupt his lines. He can then put in the fast laps. Kerry Nolden up to 5th position now in car 35. Håkan Lindström in 6th position. Again, apologies for the coffee. Gregory Olsen. That gap now spreading out a little bit. And what's happened to Kimi Larson? He's been passed by Christoph Holstein, is what's happened to him. Where's Phil Reed? He's at 9.9 down the road. So I think something's happened to Phil Reed because he was not that far off the back of Holstein when Holstein came out. So this race not...
Well, Reed had quite a few incidents early on, didn't he? So he probably lost quite a bit of time there. We've also got Kimi Larson in the pits.
Yep, the Super Swede coming in, car number 199. Where's Alander now? He has.
Well, this is interesting because he's going to come up across traffic, it looks like, which is not what he needs.
No, he has a laggy Daniel Morris ahead of him. I think it's Morris. Yep, that's Daniel Morris that... oh dear, we are struggling to catch up with Dan Morris. So, yeah, Daniel Morris gets well out of the way of the race leader then. So that is up to 19th. Now a lap down. What does Alanda do? It doesn't look like he's coming in this time. No, he doesn't. The Glacier Racing car continues upon his merry way. Where is Osterkamp?
Going through turn 11 right now. It's going to be interesting as to where this plays out. From what we've seen, the pit stops are about, if you do it well and you get everything right, you're looking at 31 seconds. The gap between Valtteri and Renault right now? 30 seconds.
Yeah, that is going to be close. Is Alanda doing himself any favour, though, by staying out? It doesn't seem to be hurting him any. Last lap, 39.9. Osterkamp, it says 28.2, which is very impossible in these cars here.
40.1, only 2 tenths slower than Alanda.
Gadamir's in, so he brought that in from third position. A decent run for him.
This is Valtteri Alanda putting a lot of confidence in his own pace, and like I said earlier, he got pole here last time they raced in the Formula Renault 2.0s here. He also won that race, worth pointing out. So he knows how to win around here, and he's clearly confident in his strategy and what he's going to do. Just over 20 minutes left. He's all heating up.
Four-way battle here. That is Sarah Dove, Dave Butler, Knut Madsen, and Galen Dimov. Two of that particular pack have pitted, the back two, and Butler and Dove yet to bring their cars in, so a decent scrap there. That's Gregory Olsen coming out into that pack as well, so big old battle going on there. But
Gregory Dimov just threw it up the inside of Knut Martinson, and Martinson didn't fight it too hard. I'm very impressed by Butler because he was on the grass there in the braking zone.
Nice.
Could have been a disaster. He managed to hold on.
Look at that lot on the roll bar of Olsen then. Who's at the tail of this particular field. He's got a decent view of all those ahead. Dimov then, now clear of Martinson, is going to start chasing after Butler and Dove. And Erke Lindström, that is the front car of this train. And again, still keeping an eye on where our race leader is. He's not interested at all in coming in. Gap between him and Osterkamp is growing actually a little bit now. Still around the 31-second mark. And yeah, Osterkamp lost nearly a full second.
I'll tell you what is interesting. Through the pits. Oh, Chris Holstein has had a moment on the video chicane. He's well off the road. He's rally crossing right now. That's going to be a weird rejoin angle. I was just about to say, Gadamir managed to jump Holstein through the pit.
Unfortunately, that was a lag moment for me. So because I was trying to find his name and I couldn't really find him. So yeah, down to 5th position now. Phil rewriting his case. They were nearly 10 seconds apart before that incident. So yeah, Holstein's now got some company there in 5th position.
And unfortunately for Holstein, it was very unfortunate. He just got on the outside curb and it just unsettled the car, and he saved it one way and then it flied him off onto the track.
Nolden and Delisle battle for 7th position between 17 and 35. Now coming out of the Mercedes arena, Kerry Nolden doing a great job in manhandling the car through the Mercedes arena. Here we go then. Oh, that was DRS. That was most certainly DRS assisted. The rate at which he caught up to Tim Delisle, but car 17 not having any of that. Defended brilliantly well. That's how quickly you normally gain, and which is about half the rate of knots that Kerry was gaining before. So into the Dunlop curve, a pretty straightforward move then for 35. Didn't look like Tim Delisle defended that one too hard. And on they go, then jumping back to Olsen. Oh, Olsen's behind Martinson again. So he's made a mistake somewhere along the line. And
something worth pointing out with for Kerry as well. That is an on-track P7 right now. He has done his pit stop as well. That's really well done, considering he was 24th at the start after making a bit of a hash of his qualifying attempt.
Great effort then for Kerry Nolden indeed. And 2 cars ahead of him still have to pit. Valtteri Alanda and Timu Valkjavi. If I don't start it right, I can't seem to complete it at all.
Timu Valkjavi was, just as a fun fact for viewers, Timu Valkjavi was responsible for helping with the highlights a long time ago when the Pro Mazda. If anyone used to watch those up on AOR Fizzy's channel. He was very responsible for that and helped a lot with the graphics. So it's good to see him back. He hasn't raced for a while.
And in comes race leader, car number 10, Valtteri Alander. Right, the gap is 31.7 between himself and Osterkamp at the point that he came in. So it is going to be, how long is he stationary for? That is going to be the big question. Where is Osterkamp? There he is, coming out of turn 12. It's just one of these moments it feels like, so is he just changing up and down gear to try and jump him along, trying to jump along a bit quicker, but he's hit his marks.
That's exactly what they're doing.
And 6.7 was the total time stopped. Vaikjavi has gone through, but Osterkamp's going to remain behind. That is the gap between the pair of them now. But interestingly, Alander is behind Vaikjavi. Vaikjavi now the race leader. That's the view from.
I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for the
fair point. So Vaikjavi's probably going to. He's either going to jump out of the way or bring his car in. So yeah, or he might. Well, I don't think he needs to try and drag Valtteri Alander. Alander doesn't need any help in being quick.
No, he doesn't. I mean, well, again, this is the kind of the point, isn't it? That Timu was running in sort of 5th place, and Valtteri's just pitted from the lead and has come out about less than a second behind him. And they'll both be running very similar setups, and they're both very quick drivers. But this is the extent to which Alander has crushed the opposition at the minute, and the fact that Rene is within 5 seconds is impressive.
3.6 separates first and second now, so that's how much time René Osterkamp lost in the pit stop strategy, but in the strategy difference, but also just how it played out from Osterkamp's outlap to now. So it's going to be down to, and here we go. Here comes Alander to. Well, mind you saying that, Vaikjavi's not letting him go. He stayed on the racing line. He's perfectly entitled to. But was that him? Yeah, that's car 70. Yeah. Vaikjavi's come in. But that would have cost a couple of tenths to Alander, but he's got some time in hand. And so the lead comes back over to car number 10. René Osterkamp back in second position, 3.3 behind. Still some left to do. We have just under 18 minutes left. Anything can happen in this race.
Absolutely. We've got Gregory Olsen and Knut Martin very close together now for 11th place. Olsen's looking towards the inside for turn 11 before ducking back in. You want to really just wait for the back straight coming up towards the Vidal chicane, but if you can't get close enough, you've got to take your opportunities where they present you.
Indeed. And Knut's not going to want to make it easy for him. Here they come again up to the Vidal chicane. He thought better to throw that on the inside.
Yeah,
Knut's slow.
Pretty mean. Oh, is he going to have a go into the final corner? That would be brave. He's made Knut go wide though. Or could just be set up for turn 1.
I think that's more what it is. There's not really enough space between the exit of 15 and the entrance of 16. There goes car 55. Gregory Olsen's going to take the inside for turn 1. Yeah, Knut knew that one was done. He didn't try and fight that one. And Vaikjavi's come out in 10th position, so a decent turnaround for him.
I'm just going to check Vaikjavi's lap time, because he was closer to Gadameyer and Holstein before. Although he was in the pits for I think Vaikjavi may have been in the pit lane.
Oh dear, yeah, he's
in the pit lane. It's a slam dunk, immediate 15-second stop-go penalty that holds you in the pits.
Oh, ouch.
So that may explain why he's suddenly so far down.
Oh, that's a laggy car ahead of René Osterkamp. Give him a bit of slipstream along the start-finish straight. Yeah, you don't really want anyone lagging right in front of you. Well, you don't ever want anyone lagging right ahead of you, to be fair. So yes. That could have been a bit of a moment, but that's helped. Osterkamp he gained barely a tenth that time around, but still trying to do something about it. Back to
what battle is still going. You'll never guess. It's Knut and Gregory Olsen.
Indeed, Knut's hanging on to the back of Olsen. We saw car 55 make the move into turn 1. So will Knut be able to fight back there? Just you can see in the background is Galen Dimov. So he's not too far behind if it comes to blows between these two cars. And again, it does seem like Canute doesn't quite have the sort of stability to come through the Vidal chicane as quick as some other cars. And, you know, a stable car, stability and confidence, you definitely need it in these things. So, yeah, I don't blame him for being a bit cautious coming through the Vidal whatsoever. But Gain and Dimov is gaining on Canute Martinson. So that train could become 3 long before too long.
Absolutely. And just to point out, the only driver that has yet to pit is Soren Kroos, currently running in 8th place.
8th position, indeed. He's 9.1 behind Tim DeLisle. Erke Lindstrom 1.2 behind. Vakiavi is actually bearing in on Erke Lindstrom. That's a battle for 9th position. So Vakiavi's found some pace then. His pace has been okay there or thereabouts, but wow, he's starting to really put the pressure on, it seems, for that 9th place.
Yeah, he should be way higher considering he's just had that penalty. So I think he's going to have a bit of a pace advantage against those random. Is he going to go for a move into the Schumacher rest? That would be unwise. No. He's probably going to have Erke into turn 11 though. Yeah, he's going to pull out and take it.
And there we go. Wow, that was very wide then from Erke Lindstrom. That was partly I don't fancy defending that. As we mentioned before, you know realistically who you're in a battle with. So rather than defending against someone that is going to have you eventually and slow you both down, it's a case of just let you go. You carry on. I'll try and sit behind you. Galen Dimov now on the tail of Canute Martinson. This has been brewing for a while. Car 46 then looking to put the pressure on the car 20 of Canute Martinson. And there you see coming on board with car 46 again. How with that, with the hand just getting in the way, it's that little bit of distraction. Wow, I wouldn't be surprised if that was DRS enabled. As wow, car 46 just flew past Canute Martinson there. Can he? Yeah, I was just thinking, can he slow it down into turn 1? Yes, he can, and that is Canute losing another spot, unfortunately.
Yeah, something of interest is that Kerry Nolden is just half a second behind Phil Reed. Team AOR orange cars starting on track battling right now, considering one started 24th and one started 9th. Phil's struggling a little bit, but I will say, to give credit to Phil is on a controller. He's on a pad. He will always be on a pad. Yep. Wow. So all of these very, very delicate, smooth steering you need, and these long corners, he has got the most delicate thumb.
Clearly.
But yeah, it's a completely different driving experience for him compared to most. I thought Kerry was going to have a go. These two have been teammates for a while.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, Phil!
Oh dear. And
he kept it out of the wall, but that would have been a hell of a scary moment.
That could be floor damage because he got very much on the curb there.
Erke Lindstrom! Sorry, Stevie. Erke Lindstrom and Greg Olsen were put side by side. There's Dimov looking to demote Lindstrom again. I think Lindstrom made a mistake somewhere because he was suddenly in the clutches of Gregory Olsen. Still side by side. No, let's get on board on the roll bar of Canute Martinson. Right behind them. And he's losing ground actually to Dimov. So whether there's maybe no DRS left for Martinson. There goes Dimov, the inside of Erke Lindstrom at turn 1. Canute Martinson doing a great job as a camera car for us for this particular battle. Wow, it's suddenly unravelled very quickly for Lindstrom, and again, probably in the same way that it very much changed for Phil Reed a few moments ago.
Absolutely, it's all coming alive in these final 11 minutes or so. We were looking at Canute going, he's dropping a few places. If these guys start battling hard and start having incidents, he's going to bring him right back into it.
Yeah, Osterkamp's made a mistake somewhere. He's now 4.5 seconds behind. Wherever he's made a mistake, it wasn't in the lap they've just finished, but Alanda still absolutely on it and continues to extend that gap. But look at this now. Charlie Summers is getting involved. There he is in 350. He's not too far off the back of this battle. That's what he's seen from his perspective.
It's going to be interesting because Charlie is probably, on paper, the fastest of this group. He was in the top 10 easily at the start of qualifying before he had that spin early on in the race. So it'll be interesting to see how they all deal with this. And then they drive for all different teams, but Knut Martinson is Team AOR yellow and Charlie Summers is Team AOR blue. So there may be some sister teamwork going on.
Isn't Phil blue as well? Or previously
Phil is orange. Phil was AOR blue in the GTE league, but now he is Team AOR Hime in that. So he will
that's
be
what
in
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they're all in different colours.
Oh, here he comes!
Gonna have a go.
Oh, I did wonder whether he was going to clout Lindstrom then. It's like, oh, please slow down, which he did. But, wow, that could have gotten rather nasty rather quickly. What's happened to Osterkamp? No, that's just a lag moment. He suddenly showed as being down in near last, but that's just a lag moment. Wow, Lindstrom is really trying to defend against Summers. Whoa! Wow, Charlie Summers. Here he comes. He's absolutely leaving Lindstrom for dead. Look at that. What a great move. Lindstrom is on a charge now.
Absolutely. That was a couple of really nice passes from Charlie Summers. He's taken 2 cars in 1 lap.
Nicely done.
It's very nicely done. He's got a bit of a gap to make up now to Galen, who is on the back of Gregory Olsen as well. So he's got another. Maybe he can take the next 2 in the next lap.
Oh, Lindstrom's in trouble because now Knut Martinson's right on his tail as well. As pace just seems to have dropped completely out of car 98. So unless he's nursing damage on that car, of course we can't really see from a spectator's perspective, but he's really struggling all of a sudden. Dimov still chasing Olsen. That battle is still fairly strong. Holstein and Gadamer, they've been fairly close all race long, but usually Holstein's been the lead one of the pair, but there you just seen Gadamer going out of the shot. Osterkamp now
he's on the spin! Holstein, Gadamer's spinning right now. He's just spun at 10-3. He's letting Holstein go as he recovers, but that's just giving Holstein 3rd place.
Oh dear. Oh. Let's have a look then, because he see him coming through turn 2, and the incident happened in the next one. So what's he done? Is he just? Oh wow! He actually lost that, and it looks like under braking indeed. Looks like the tail just got completely away from him.
Early.
Yeah.
Also, I expected.
Oh, Krutz is in trouble. Sorry, Stevie. At exactly the same place. Just saw. Let's just see what happened to car 11. So again, is he locked that one under braking? No. What happened to you? Oh yeah, too much gas too quick, and the rear tires has gone. No, can't deal with that. But he reversed to make sure he stayed out of trouble. And he'll resume then. Wow, this race has really flown by. 7.5 minutes remain of this race. And Gadamer looks like he's getting back on Holstein's case. They may be teammates, but he is not letting him go. Car 37 getting back on a charge.
This could be difficult for Gadamer because he does have rear wing damage.
Oh.
I just went back because he was so far ahead because Chris had that spin. He dropped over the chicane.
True, yes.
So I was confused as to why the gap had suddenly come down, and I just went back, and about 5 laps ago, Gadamer must have done something because he lost.
Oh yeah,
147.
Yeah, you can actually see the dent. You can see the. I think you can see the indentation on that rear wing.
I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's had an adventure somewhere along the line, and just had another one that's let his teammate through.
Well, there's only a few places where the oh wow steady there's only a few places where the downforce is really, really effective, but even still, you don't want to be. How the hell do you damage the rear wing? Going backwards into something, I get.
Or he's gone backwards in something, or he's may have had contact with a back marker, or we don't know. Unfortunately,
no.
It's a long time ago, so we can't go back and check.
No.
Hopefully, he'll come in for an interview.
Krutz now on the back of Martinson, so. With the battle that was going on between Martinson and Lindstrom at 412, that seems to have resolved itself. And now Martinson once again defending, this time against the recovering car 11, as we are entering the final stages. There we go. 5 laps remain of this race. It's been led pretty much all race long by this man, our pole sitter Valtteri Alander, car number 10. Now 6 seconds between himself and René Osterkamp in car 29. Christoph Holstein now just promoted back up into 3rd place. There's his teammate Dominic Gadamer, 4th, being chased down by Kerry Nolden.
Yeah, I was just about to point out, Kerry Nolden is, if he can get on the back of Gadamer quickly, the top 4 is not out of reach.
Certainly
and if
not.
Lisa makes any more mistakes, nor is a podium. And Kerry Nolden started stone dead last. He started 24th.
Wow.
So this is an amazing drive from Nolden.
Nolden gained a full second on Gadamer last time around and 4/10 on Holstein. So it's possible it'll be a bit tight for him to get Holstein, but certainly 4th is on the cards. I mean, if he got a podium, he's like you say, from starting last and finishing 3rd, absolutely brilliant effort, and one to watch as the season progresses for Kerry Nolden.
And on top of that, and much like I pointed out in the sprint race for the F3, when we saw how well Canute did, Kerry Nolden got the lowest incident count now. He only has 1 incident point, which means he's been off track or out of what iRacing deems is appropriate 1 time. So that's really impressive.
Stunning.
Galen Dimov is very close to Gregory Olsen all of a sudden.
Yeah, that battle's still going on. Charlie Summers is actually right on their case as well, so he's going to get involved in that battle. Oh, what's happened to Saradav? Nothing, it's just he's been overtaken. That's all. And she's got, that's not Daniel Morris behind that. I think that's Valtteri Lander. It is, that's the race leader coming up behind it. So she'll be jumping out of his way pretty soon. But yeah, at the moment, eyes on Kerry Nolden, as he is getting very close to attacking Dominic Gadamer. 4 laps remain here in the Nurburgring, and we've had very little time where there hasn't been battling going on. So yeah, we've got that battle there. There's Olsen, Dimov, and Summers not far behind either. Dimov really does look racy at the moment. Then it's a 3-way battle, Lindstrom, Martinson and Krutz. It is still all going on.
Absolutely. There's no let up, it seems, at the minute. Kerry Nolden is only 6/10 back from Gadamer with that damaged rear wing, who that's going to impact you one way or another. They're not designed with a wonky rear wing, otherwise it would be, if they did, it would be quicker. They don't, so it's slower, clearly.
Indeed.
Kerry just made up a lot of time in just that one corner alone. He's now within half a second.
Indeed, it's unless Holstein makes a mistake, I think Holstein is probably going to be safe with the remaining laps. But Dominic Gadamer is going to do what he can to act as rear gunner to his GTE champion teammate. Here they come through Dunlop now, through the Schumacher S's, 9 and 10. Surely this is going to be on the nose of car 35. This is going to be job done. Look how quickly he was gaining, coming into 11, now through the Bilstein curve. There's 12. Oh, Nolden was a little wide. That's going to compromise his exit. And there you go. You can just see Gadamer had a very good line coming through 12. And that's just ruined any opportunity Nolden had at that particular turn. But, of course, nowhere near giving up. Whoa! Kerry Nolden. My goodness. He's
really pushing.
Yeah, nearly pushed it on, either into the back of Gadamer or onto the grass. The tail was very lively coming through. Here we go, then 3 laps to go, and there's still a lot of fighting to be resolved.
Yeah, there's a hell of a train forming up now behind Galen Day at Dimov. There's Gregory Olsen, Charlie Summers, Shimi Valkyar is back now as well.
Yeah.
Has something happened to Canute Martinson? He's down in 15th.
What has happened to Martinson? If we can find out what's happened to Canute, I'll keep an eye on this 4-way train, as well as the 3 train we were looking at earlier, as the top 2 seem to have kind of left the rest of the field. Oh wow, that's Olsen getting very close to the back of Dimov. Was Dimov chasing Olsen for a while?
I was just trying to get past Olsen there. Through turn 2 it was not going to work, but he was very close.
Indeed, so it does look like that Dimov's got the pace on these 3, but Charlie Summers is going to look to do what he can to climb another step up the ladder. It's the 9th that he's looking at now. There is Vaikjavi that's keeping himself interested in the battle. Bit of a lock up there from Olsen. Streaming him down towards the Dunlop curve. Is Summers going to throw it on the inside? He's in the slipstream. He's close enough to get the effect of it, but no. He remains where he is, but he can't ignore the fact that Vaikjavi is right there as well. There you've just seen Erka Lindstrom, but he's too far back to be involved in this one. Here they come then. Summers trying to position himself. He's making himself very known to the mirrors. There he goes. Is he going to get the move? That is very brave, but he's got it done. And there goes Vaikjavi. Could have followed through as well, but opted not to not to commit to the move as well. And, discretion but a part of valor there. It can also make a move on Summers. There he goes into the Vito chicane. Who's going to win out on this one? Who's going to be... Oh, that's forced. Oh, we lost Summers.
He's been disqualified.
Oh, no.
That incident has just disqualified him.
No.
Like I said last on Monday, the incident count on iRacing does not apportion blame. If you touch, you both get a 4x. And if you that 17, it's pretty forgiving for a 1 hour race. But if you get it, then you both get it.
Out of nowhere. That was out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was. That's iRacing. That's racing.
Yeah, but your winner here. Your winner here in the Nurburgring, car number 10. He can pretty much coast from there, and he is. That is Valtteri Alander. Brilliantly done. René Osterkamp is going to come home second by quite some distance, nearly 12 seconds indeed. By the end of that, Holstein. Oh, Gary Nolden is still very close to Gayden, but Holstein, 30, near enough 35 seconds behind Osterkamp. So, that's a lot of fighting, few mistakes, few struggles to get the grips of the car, but a fair effort indeed to round out the podium for Christoph Holstein, unless of course he bins it in the last few corners. You see him come through there in the background. You can see Gayden and Nolden. Kerry tried everything he could to overhaul. Olsen. Oh, Olsen's off. No, he's down to 10th. So that battle is all turned upside down for Gregory Olsen. There is Holstein to take third. Gayden just hangs on to fourth from Kerry Nolden. Phil Reed, there he is in 6th position. Tim Delisle is going to take 7th. Gaining Dimov, fighting his way through that pack, is going to finish in 8th place. Very nicely done. Then it is Timu Vaikjavi. Started in 3rd, but sadly just unwound for him rather towards the end. Olsen, who was right there, was up in 8th position in the last. Now comes across the line in 10th. Then it is Erka Lindström, followed very closely by Søren Kretz for 11-12. Then it is Kimi Larsen across the line in 13th. Knut is the last car on the lead lap in 14th. Everyone else, Sarah Dove, Daniel Morris, Kapila Nira, Butilar, and Charlie Summers. Charlie Summers was disqualified right at the end, but he would have finished in 19th if nothing else. Oh, what a shame for Charlie Summers, though. We lost Herman, Waldo, Domino, Emre, and Potter in that race. Wow! What a race it was.
Absolutely. It was... René had an issue towards the end of the race and dropped a little bit further back off Alander, but for the two of them, just over 45 seconds to Holstein.
Wow.
And we know how good Holstein is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those two were in a class of their own today.
Completely, yeah. And there was 12 seconds between Alander and Osterkamp. Fastest lap again went over to Alander towards the dying stages. So there is the confirmed results then, unless of course any stewards' inquiries shovel the field around. But there it is. Alander, Osterkamp, Holstein, Gayden, Nolden, Reed, Delisle, Dimov, Vaikjavi, Olsen, Lindström, Krutz, Larsen, Martinson, Dove, Morris, Kopelanari, and Butilar are your top 18, with the rest of the field as non-finishes. Oh, that was incredible.
Yeah, that is a statement of intent for the rest of the field, and it's kind of the kind of thing that's it's a bit of a wake-up call to the rest of the grid. You know, a lot of drivers I think will be out there going, I can't get any more out of this car, and then they see what Alander and Osterkamp can do with it. And it's like, wow, okay, I've got to step up my game here. It's only a 6-round championship, and there's no drop week, so Alander and Osterkamp have just scored big time in that. Oh boy.
Right, well, as no one has made themselves available for interview, and I don't blame them, because wow, what a finish it was. But we'll let our drivers rest and recover from that. And wow, that's the last race we have for iRacing before Christmas, I believe. We haven't got one.
That is it for this. We've got Holstein. Oh, they're all joining the.
You now. Oh, that's fine. We can bring them in. if they're joining us. It was a good thing they did, because they left it another few minutes, then they would have struggled. Right, let's see what Mr. Holstein has to say.
Oh, come on.
Haha, got him in mid-conversation.
Yes, you did.
Well. Go on.
I was just saying to Valtteri how ridiculous it is, the kind of pace he was running. I have no idea what he and Rene were doing up front, but they were just in the league of their own. There was no way anyone could actually keep up with them today.
We might have mentioned that once or twice. We just absolutely couldn't believe it. But let's get your thoughts then, Mr. Holstein. You had a very eventful race, it looked like.
Yeah, I think it was all right. It was my first race in this car, really, so I didn't do any official race. So that was I was very, very cautious on the start, and then people just kept spinning a little bit here and there, and it seemed like there was a battle for P3 developing, and then after the pit stop, after my spin, I was like, come on, I probably bottled it and gave it to Dominic. Then Dominic made one or two mistakes again as well, and then Timo somehow had an issue on his pit stop or something, which got him out of contention. Then Kerry came from behind, so that was also a sign. But in the end, it was the maximum achievable result today, and as well, very, very good result for the team. Obviously, I'm very, very happy.
What happened at the chicane?
I have no idea, man. It's sometimes if you just go over some patches of the track, there is less traction or something. From my memory, I was at 50% throttle input or something. It just spun me around. I had no idea why I spun there, but it just sometimes happens at that chicane, really.
Well, great effort there, Mr. Holstein. Well done for you. Mentioned earlier, Kerry Nolden joins us in the box. Wow, what a charge from you, particularly in the closing stages. How are you feeling after that one?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, that was okay. That was a fun race overall. Qualifying obviously wasn't the plan to qualify last and not set a lap, but it was fun. Just I think the rolling start kind of split everyone up as well right at the beginning, so I was kind of taking my time getting through the cars. Which I guess was a safer option, but it meant I was quite far off the guys that I wanted to be racing with. But once I kind of got myself into a bit of clean air, just settle into a rhythm, just do your laps and see what happens. And I could hear on the radio with all my teammates, they were all having issues, and others around as well were all spinning and having dramas as well. So to be right on the end of the podium. Kind of gutted, didn't get close enough to challenge for third there, but it's nice to know that there's some pace at least.
And you did all that as well. Sorry, King. You did all that as well with the lowest instant count of everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it? Yeah, it was. I think it was just a bit too, a tiny bit wide. I'm in the racing. We're still on the track, I think, but they're quite harsh on the exit curb of turn one. So that was the only one. So, but yeah, it was nice. I think DRS kind of adds a little kind of having a longer race and DRS as well. You can have a bit of patience in the race now, so you can kind of pick your moments a bit better, which I was able to do. So. I was quite happy with 1 time. It's a shame it's not the bonus point, but points for 5th is okay.
Great stuff. Well done. I was really looking forward to how you performed, and look forward to the rest of the season. Great job. Well done. And Valtteri Alander. Wow. As Chris mentioned earlier, we mentioned several times that you were just in an absolute class of 2 with you and Rene. Were you that confident coming in, or were you a bit surprised coming into this race?
No, not at all, because I know Rene from last 2 seasons, and he's really, really fast. And when I got pole position, I was like, okay, this might end up well, but the first stint was really hard because Rene was pushing so hard and pressurizing me, so it wasn't easy. But I don't know what happened to him during the pit stops. I had a feeling that I might lose time because I was on old tires, although my car was quite a bit lighter. But suddenly, when I came out of the pits, the gap was like 4 seconds, and I was like, okay. But then it was pretty much just trying to stay on the road and get it back to home safely.
You won the last time we raced here. You won in the Formula Renault last season.
Yeah.
2.0. Do you have a special affinity for this track?
I like this track, but not the Merc Arena section. It's horrible. But other than that, the track is really nice. Although I had some really big moments in the chicane.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So are we to look forward to seeing you towards the sharp end of this series, each race?
I really hope so, because last season in the Formula Renault 2.0 it started well, but didn't end so well. So I really hope to maintain this form, and I'm really looking forward to the next race, which is in Suzuka, I think, and that's like one of my top 5 tracks. So
a twisty track with a lively car. Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes, that's going to be fun.
Yes.
Right, I think it's a good time as any to wind this one up. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have you all with us throughout. Thank you very much to you, DBSQ, for tolerating me in the commentary box. A great pleasure, good sir.
It's always an honour. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for having me. As Valtteri has said, the next round of the championship in 2 weeks' time will be at Suzuka, but we're going to be there next week anyway because the F3s are there. For the final race of 2018, no GTs on Monday because it's Christmas Eve, but some people in the world celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, so we're going to respect that and give them the night off.
Real life getting in the way again.
I know, I would rather be here and commentate, but other people have that family and social thing to do.
I have young children. I most certainly would rather be here. I can assure you of that.
So yes, we will be back next Friday for round 2 of the F3s. I'm back in 2 weeks for round 2 of 3.5.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much to our sponsors for ensuring the growth of AOR. And we will be back, as Stevie explained, next time for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.